minutes. Hello, Gamebugs, my old friend. We lose a Kerbal yet again. There we go. Let's make this a highly intelligent Kerbal. Let's make him level 1. Him or her. 70k. We can cover that cost. Who do we get? Filbret Carbon. Excellent. Yeah, I'm very annoyed by that. F5. Oh. It already said, of course, that it doesn't actually have any... No, wait, actuator speed? Actuator speed? Why didn't it actuate? Strange. Very strange. Let's quick save before we launch it yet again. Quick save. There are 2 Kerbals in here. Okay, there you go. Oh, this is interesting. I'm suddenly noticing that there's intercept times listed in this Delta V planner, saying that it takes 56 hours to go to Minmus. Huh. Pilot, engineer, and Filbret the scientist. There we go. Ever played Beyond Good and Evil? Oh yes, I've played it on the original console, in fact. Was that a GameCube game? No. No, it was an N64 game back then, wasn't it? Yeah, I think if it's N64, Akashi has my copy. But no, wait. I think it was a GameCube game. 3, 2, 1, lift off. We don't have any control. Why do we not have any control? Are you kidding me? Winglets don't work? Why do these winglets not... Okay, the winglets do work. Okay. It just needs to pick up some speed. Good. But yeah, I've played Beyond Good and Evil and finished it. Both back on the original console when I had it, and... oh, no, wait, I remember. I didn't play it on the original console. Here's the interesting story. I bought it on the original console, but then they only had the Dutch version, even though I'd specifically reserved an English language version. They only had the Dutch dubbed version. And then when I said, like, hey, I want the English version, I bought the English version, they said, yeah, no, that's not coming on our market. We just have the Dutch version. So then I went and bought something else. I did not quick save this. That is foolish. Well, alright then. Beyond Good and Evil is going to be a prequel, so there's no need to have played it. Oh, yeah. We get into gaming properly until the end of the PS2's life cycle. Ah. Your parents tried to stop it? Ah, the fools. Fools. And of course, now, with your degree, they realize how foolish they were. Bill. Why are you falling so swiftly, Bill? Lemdred. I'm gonna quick save at this point. Wait, how is Bill flying sideways? Filbert, Lemdred, Bill, Filbert, Lemdred. Okay, we're doing good. Your mom's happy, your dad still expects you to grow up one day. Ah, yes, and get a real job. Ah, well, that's, yeah, that's old-fashioned. Okay, looks like Lemdred landed safely. Actually? Alright, he's slowly descending. Bill, Filbert, Lemdred. Okay, Lemdred. Safely, very safely. Bill. Filbert's gonna be first. And Bill. Perfect. Recover. Okay, so what went wrong? We did not have the thruster weight, so that thing was correct. 0.67 means we fall back. And because we fell back, that is also why we crashed into the pods that we ejected. Have you played the Borderland games? I have not. I've heard that they're terrible. I've heard that they're really, really bad. Just pure clickfest nonsense. So that's really, you know, made me reticent to try and play those. 30,200. But the thruster weight is at least 1, so that's better this time. Oh, hello. 30,500. It's not good. How about we change things up by adding multiple stages? What if, crazy idea, we put that one there, add one of these interstages, and trust this to get us up. Wait, when do we... There we go. This blasts, and that blasts. So this blast gets us 1.36. This would get us up, but the problem again here is this does not have the thruster weight it needs. We did need the other engine. So what if we slowly scale this up to 1.03? Wait, what if we change this altogether? Right now I've been using this one. What if we start making these weird combination engines? As his life though, he's worked every day of his life since he was 16. He's 60. He's accepted our things he wanted to understand about your generation. You respect that. He's happy if you're happy. That's a good compromise though. That's a very good compromise with her. But yeah, I can get that. There are just certain things that sometimes are too far. Just a step too far for some... There we go. For some people's reckoning. There we go. So as you can see, this is a trick. Oh wait, why, oh, that's the same, of course. This is a trick to sometimes, if you have enough fuel, but you don't have the thrust, sometimes adding multiple engines like this is a real good way to fix that problem, because it gets you more thrust. The only downside, as I'm seeing now, is it does lower my delta V. Okay, let's see. Borderlands 1 was basically an MMO minus the MO. Borderlands 2 had more narrative. It's still very shooty, looty, looty. Yeah, that's what I don't like about it. Kind of like Fallout 4. I don't know. Fallout 4 has more atmospheric sneak moments from what I've seen. That does not sound like quality stream material. Exactly. Red Dead Redemption Max 23 would be nice games to stream. Red Dead Redemption would be. The only problem is it's not on PC. Kind of, you know what? I kind of would like to play Bloodborne, but of course that's just not really happening. So here's the thing: we are close, but not exactly there. You know what? Let's give this another try, though. Let's test out this rocket, even though it's costing us piles and piles, oodles of money. I'm going to test out how this rocket does. Pilot, engineer, scientist. Let's launch. Still have confirmed Red Dead Redemption 2 for PC. Ah. X6 is low on your PS4. Sure you would do it, it's not like he uses it? Yeah, it's not like he uses it. Haha. Now, I think the 3, 2, 1, lift off. I think the issue is, a game like that, I'd have to loan it for months, and that's not something I'd do to him. There we go. So, one problem we have is that these control surfaces don't have much effect while we're moving this slowly. And it's only when we start... There we go, picking up some speed that we can actually influence this rocket a little bit. There we go. Now I stage these specifically so that I can activate the other rockets first, and then start detaching these solid rocket boosters on the side. To get that extra kick in. Except, of course, it hadn't updated the thrust there. Okay, so my goal is to get relatively high so that the other engines later are going to be more powerful. It's going to be more efficient and have better thrust to weight. There we go. Now I want to get up to about 20 kilometers. Before I really start the gravity turn, but we're already leaning down a lot. I'm pretty happy actually with how this design is doing so far. Oh darn it, we have a problem. We have a problem. This one needs to be over there. Think about that problem that could have caused. Okay, so now I want to fall prograde. So we're going to be boosting out of the atmosphere at a reasonable rate. This, I think, will end us up with a pretty good gravity turn. So this is a pre-existing game list. LA Noire, Mass Effect Trilogy, Metal Gear Solid, Mad Max, Dreamfall, yeah. That is something I should have done a little bit better. Finishing Half-Life 2, I thought I finished Half-Life 2. I played to the end, right? Okay, this is a bit of an issue. Yeah, this thing does not have the thrust we need to get into orbit after all. I did not quick save, did I? I did not quick save. Are we already done with KSP? No. One problem is KSP doesn't have an ending, so we can never actually be done with it. But I do want to basically just, you know, touch base and see, like, hey, what would you like? What would you like to see? What would you like to have done? Yeah, this thing is not getting to space. Ah, well, at the very least we can see if we can put this thing down safely. Actually, what I could probably do is detach from the heat shield and just have it fall down. Let's make as much use of the engines as we can, though. These two Jelly co-op stream? That would be cool, actually. Doing episodes 1 and 2, which is technically still part of Half-Life 2. Ah, okay. I have to admit, it's... Half-Life... I don't get it. I don't get what people really admire about those games. They're... Maybe it's just because I played them later and they're also just not my genre. But it's just... Yeah, it's not my thing. I mainly have to say the same for the Shadow of Mordor, where the game itself was okay. You know, I enjoyed myself. But I have to say it was... can I jettison that heat shield? And then... Oh, those are staged incorrectly. But yeah, the Nemesis system, for example, I've heard everybody speak so highly of it. Never really was a thing for me. I just, you know, I engage with it a little bit, but I don't have those... You know, I hear, for instance, Total Biscuit and Co-optional Podcast talk about, like, how he really had this nemesis and this one guy he couldn't defeat and he went back to again and again and again. I was like, I don't recognize that experience at all. I didn't have that. For me, it was more, oh yeah, you know, oh okay, he becomes a little bit stronger, and then I killed him next time. So it's like, okay, good, sure. I don't know. Different games for different people, though. Okay. Let's stop wasting money and trust the Kerbal engineer. Because right now we have wasted quite a bit failing at doing something which should be relatively easy. No. How about we remove these? How much delta V? 0.84. I think we can flip this. This still does not get us enough delta V. If you look at this, actually, let's move these like that. Our delta V for stage 7 is 3,229. That does not get us near where we need to be. So I'm thinking, how about instead of these, we make a liquid fuel booster. Much like before, actually, let's change these. Much like before, we'll add these liquid fuel tanks. Add them above and below. Make sure that they are aerodynamic. There we go. And we're gonna put the wasteful ones on there, the big engines, and get fuel lines in from the side to the center, and we're gonna need structural. The bottom. Wait, that's the wrong type of symmetry you're using. That's weird. Why? Okay, that's the right type. Good. So that we don't get any weird wobble, we copy. Whoa! We copy this using the Alt key. Place those there, and swap these around to charge those. Now, checking. We want those to fire, yes. Those are in weird places. There we go. It does not know how it wants to stage these. I want these staged first. I want these staged second. So that all of these burn at the same time. And then we first dodge. Oh, those are in the wrong order. We first dodge these, then we dodge, then we drop these, and then lastly we decouple that one, and we, let's see, we then open that one. So this one needs to eject fairly strongly, actually. 150, we burn that, we decouple that so that we can burn those. Decouple those at the end. And these need to be staged properly. There we go. There we go. Territory flag? What? Half-Life 2 was very much a trendsetter. The things people find mundane about FPS games nowadays were first introduced by Half-Life, and then after everyone did it, became stigma. I can get that. Like heavily scripted linear experiences nowadays, those words are almost gaming taboo. Yeah. It's interesting to see the medium almost go through genre adolescence. Tightly designed linear, scripted sequences, child stuff, one bigger epic open world. Yeah. Although I'm very hesitant about the term open world these days. Hey there, Beholder. What mods am I running? I'm running a pile now. !Kerbal gives you a list of most of the mods I'm running. But I've added a couple now. The RCS Builder, Mandatory RCS, and Planetary Base. I literally just added those this stream and testing out whether I like it. So they're not in that command yet. Let's see, we're gonna need... tweakables. Let's tweak you. There we go. A little bit more. That's at surface level, but these, of course, are gonna burn later. So I think we're good now. I think this should work. Let's save these babies. And this time we're gonna F5. You really like all these mods? Oh, I'm having a ton of fun with these mods. They're great. And as I said, the mandatory RCS, that is new today, and that is, this ship will be the first one to really test it in practice. Okay. Getting ready for liftoff in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We have liftoff. Clear the non-existent tower. Slowly moving, gaining speed. I'm going to be very gentle with this launch. I absolutely do not want... I did not check the total delta V on this. I mean, I glanced at it. I think we were okay. But I did not double check it. I'm getting very nervous all of a sudden. Separation. 3, 2, 1... No? They were already empty. Okay. Okay, we are still picking up speed. Not doing that well though. This thing is a little hard to control. Not going up as strictly as I would like. Maybe next time I need to go up more rather than try to do the little lean to the side. This thing wants to fall over very much. All we need to do in this first stage is just get altitude. I can see you're chatting, by the way, but I'm gonna have to try and get this thing up a little bit more. This was a lot of wasted delta V that we have here. I'm a bit disappointed in this ascent. Also, I forgot to F5, didn't I? I absolutely did. You cannot ever appreciate is the concept of player-created content. Yeah, exactly, Wayne. I agree with you. Designers create a path or multiple paths for you to follow. I can enjoy something like Fallout 4 where I experience different types of stories by walking through the landscape and there's multiple quests, but still, there's pre-designed quests. And when I go and find a vault or a cave, that is a designed experience because it's organized in a certain way that'll allow me to meet certain challenges that are still designed. It's not player created. That's something that's about the best median I have between player created content and designed content. Okay, let's get this thing aimed to prograde. You're okay for orbit, but you would be pushing the envelope with the minimus landing unless you're very good at landing in ascent. I'm pretty good at landing. Not super at landing, but you know, my top lander, that has more than enough to land and go again. The only problem is this stage is the one that needs to get me into orbit. Thing is, requires people to have competent designers. One thing I said time and time again, nobody knows how to make video games. Yeah, I think you're very right about that. Nobody really knows how to make video games. That needs to grow. Okay, this stage is not enough to get me into orbit, but my transfer stage has enough to give me that last kick. So I should probably aim this up a little bit more, maybe? No, we'll be fine. Said you were doing an F5, so either you did it or you didn't do it when you said you were. The problem was I said it before I did the liftoff. I didn't do it at the liftoff. Okay. People say that this is not a good idea, but I say whatever, I'll play the way I want to. There we go. And by which I mean the current trend is to say just blast full power until you get out of the atmosphere. But I'm gonna keep this and I'm gonna move to my apoapsis and use that 490 that I have left to better effect. I'm gonna point a little bit upwards.